everyone. It's your man James, Mr. Sequential Treasures, back again with some more video action for you. Today we're doing the latest installment of Why It's Great. And for those of you new to the show here, what it is Why It's Great is where I take a comic from the past and I talk about it, tell you why I think it's great, what makes it such an awesome read, and maybe get you interested to want to pick it up and check it out yourself. So today we're going to do another one of those. I always enjoy doing these. And yeah, let's just, jump right on into it. Today's choice will be Web of Spider-Man number 38 from 1988. So a very classic issue. But before we get started there, let me just get set up here and turn off my camera because we don't need to see my ugly mug any more than we have to in this because it's not about me. It's about the book. So let's just get things set up here. Okay. And then we share. And there you go. There it is. The cover to Web of Spider-Man number 38 from 1988. Great cover by Bob Badansky and Joe Rubenstein. It's a great image of the Hobgoblin. Let me make it a little bigger there for you guys. Just an incredible image. I remember when I first saw this, on the spinner rack, it was just, it blew me away. I had to grab that. Again, I've talked about this before, the importance of a really awesome cover image. I mean, just that image right there, his face all in shadow, holding up the skull with the smoking eyes, the little "I'm back" right there. It's just it's all menace. And even though there's no Spider-Man on the cover, except of course for the corner box, even though there's no Spider-Man on the cover, this cover is just immediately just sucks you right in. You just, wow, the Hobgoblin is back. It's going to be a raucous time. You just can tell just from the single image of this cover that's what you're going to get. And now this isn't the original Hobgoblin, mind you. This is Jason Masondale, the villain formerly known as Jack-O-Lantern, who became the second Hobgoblin. And he's the one who's wearing the costume in this one. And, we start right here. It's written by Fabian Nizia, art by Alex Saviuk, Keith Williams, and Mike Esposito. And, right from the start here, again, just a great splash image, sets you up. The Hobgoblin heading off to do some evil doing. I mean, the way the image is done, it almost like it takes off right from the cover. Like the cover was the close-up shot, and then you back off, and this is what you get. So just I like how they kind of almost tied the cover in with the opening scene. And what it is, he's heading off to the Kingpin's tower because he wants to have a few words with the big man. And you can see he shows up. And, again, this is how superhero comics are done, folks. This is how they're supposed to be done. All action right at the start in the jump. You just want people to get you right in the thick of the action because that's what gets you excited. That's what you read superhero comics for. And here he comes in, he blasts his way in, he's just tearing through the Kingpin's security like a hot knife through butter. He's just knocking him down. Saying he wants the Kingpin. Where is he? And then out comes the Kingpin's right hand man, the Arranger, and of course, even here, the Hobgoblin, just can't resist being, kind of a jerk. He's like, Arranger, I'm here for the Kingpin, not his bootlicker, and but the Arranger, completely professional, Mr. Fisk is otherwise occupied at the moment, Masondale. His bootlicker will have to suffice. So he gets him to stop his attack, and they go in and talk, and he wants, the whole thing for the Hobgoblin is he wants to know, why is it as the best mercenary in the city have I gotten no jobs for months from the Kingpin? And, the Ranger basically spells it out to him. My dear Masondale, you're a bore. You are an idiot, an incompetent, a prattling fool. You steal another man's identity and expect to be respected for that? Absurd. And then, again, the Hobgoblin doesn't take kind to it, saying, I never took you for the suicidal type of Ranger. And then, he tells him, that there is a way for you to maybe get back in the graces. And he goes, if you could, perhaps if you were to eliminate someone who has been an obstacle for the Kingpin, someone like Spider-Man. So you see, this is how it's all getting set up. The whole reason that the Hobgoblin's going to battle him is not even because he's being paid, not because it's a vendetta, but because he just needs to prove himself worthy of being a hired mercenary and assassin to the Kingpin. And then as he revels in the idea of doing it, we get to meet again a shadowy figure comes out, and it's Tombstone, who at this point was a very shadowy figure. We didn't know much about him. He was a new character introduced a couple issues before, didn't have a whole lot to say. Of course, we would later learn a whole lot about Tombstone, but right here you're going to see he just picks up the hobgoblin, throws him right out the window, just, and it's just like the Ranger says here, his name is Tombstone. He is good at discarding waste. And I do so enjoy discarding waste, and just right out the window. So again, no honor among thieves, as you can see. The hobgoblin calls in his glider to save him, and then, but the Ranger kind of wonders, will he succeed? And then, will he actually kill Spider-Man? Guess we'll have to find out. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, we go back to Peter's apartment, and while his landlady's on the prowl looking for her husband, she comes across Peter's apartment where there's a party going on. And, you got all the classic characters from Peter Parker at that time. You got Randy, Candy, and Bambi, his upstairs neighbors. You got Lance Bannon and Joy Mercudo from the Beagle. There's Betty Brant and Gloria Grant. There's Flash Thompson and Emma Watson, her aunt. There's Jonah and was it Joe Robertson and his wife, and just, the dialogue here is just like the kind of stuff you all overhear in a party. And if you look real careful though, look right here at the very, very edge of the panel right here, it's Spuds MacKenzie, because how could you have an 80s party and not have Spuds MacKenzie in it? But again, this is just very nice. And you're going to see a lot of little things said and shown in this issue, little reference points to the fact that it's the late 80s. Like here, a Nagel on the wall, but of course, a Nagel, Patrick Nagel, the artist, very famous artist in the 80s. So you're going to all kinds of little cultural references throughout this entire issue. So, MJ, kind of tries to stall Muggins as her husband's ducking for cover. And then, we get to see more people around, and then we see Peter finally show up. He's busy making food in the kitchen while MJ is hosting the party. And, she's like, oh, Tiger, I know you're not big on partying like I am, but you're just a sweetie for letting me get away with this. It'll be fun. Once I figure out who half these people are, it's just, again, the awkwardness of Peter Parker, his nerdiness, his not being a very good at the social graces is played up here perfectly. I love that. Again, just a perfect little thing to remind you that, Peter Parker may be a hero. He may be an honorable guy, but you know what? He's still not much of a people person. And of course he runs into Muggins, and, she yells at him for, having the party, and again, they even make reference to it. Did you see the dog? Whose dog is it? What is it doing here? Why does it have a beer in its paw? Who gave it that beer? You see, it just totally playing up all this stuff. So, and again, just the whole joke with Peter bringing food, and then suddenly the food is gone because everyone crowds around and takes it all. And MJ shows up with some punch, and while he's trying to, trying to deal with that, she's like, well, since we're moving out soon, I know you'll want some time alone with her. Ciao. And so she just abandons him to Mrs. Muggins, to which Peter's, MJ, this could be taken as grounds for divorce. You got to love it. I love the interaction between Peter and MJ in this period. This is shortly after they were married. So, I mean, they're newlyweds, and you got that fun playfulness of stuff like this. She kind of leaves him to have to deal with Muggins, and he's just like, oh, this is grounds for divorce. I just love that. He runs into some of her friends, and and then a phone call comes in. He talks to Aunt May, and then brother, is it me or MJ's friends a little odd? Good punch though. Now take note of this. This is what they call foreshadowing. This is what they call foreshadowing. And but here I love this right here. She goes, another woman, when he's on the phone with Aunt May, he goes, you could say that. That's a shame. I'd love to be the other woman in your marriage. Excuse me? I find your shy, awkward sweetness refreshing. Mary Jane need never know. I better get out of here. I love that. Again, he's an honorable guy. He's freshly married. He doesn't want to do anything to hurt the woman he loves. And so again, this is something just kind of fun to show you what a good guy Peter Parker actually is. And then he runs into Candy, Bambi, and Randy. his upstairs neighbors who are all saying they're going to miss him and how sad they are he's leaving. And then, of course, Mr. Muggins shows up and says, "Let's dance." And then girls immediately leave him and say, "Missing me already. I can tell." I just love it. All this stuff you just saw with the party. This is what's really missing in the books today, is that great interaction with the supporting cast, that really fleshes out the world that the hero inhabits. It really gives you a contextual feel for what their world is like when they're not in the suit. And of course, then we go back to the Hobgoblin, who's searching for a place to set up the battle with Spider-Man, and we get a quick recap of his origins. He goes, now is my time. I'm prepared to make my stand to defeat Spider-Man and move up in the criminal world. And I have found the perfect staging ground to battle him, and it's the Lincoln Tunnel. So now all the pieces are falling into place. We go back to the party, more people show up, a band, and I love this. I like this right here when the band starts playing, they kind of, make it so you can't read what Muggins is screaming, although you probably know what it is. And then Peter goes, "I can't hear you. The music's too loud." And he goes, "I'll get you for this, Parker, and your little dog too." And again, nice. See, once again, cultural references abound in this whole issue. And then here comes Flash. "Hey, Pete, phone call for you." You don't have to shout, Flash. You see, I can't hear you to her, but the Flash is yelling, and he says, "Oh, you don't got to yell." That's hilarious. Again, just the fun of the scene. And it's Harry Osborn who's calling to say that they're running late because of they're stuck at the Lincoln Tunnel due to the Hobgoblin attacking it on the New York side. And so here we go with a classic scene that would be repeated many times over the years. He goes, "Uh-oh, Hobgoblin. MJ will kill me if I leave the party. Then again, so will Hobby. But it's a great chance to snap some pics and pay my rent." See, because he's a month behind on the rent. So he gets to MJ and tells her there's a problem, got to talk. He says, "Harry called, there's trouble with the Hobgoblin." And she goes, "What about the party?" He goes, I'll be back in a minute. 2 tops, promise. Just cover for me." And then, and then I love, again, that this is right here, the emotion of the scene. Is it always going to be like this? Don't know whether I want to hug him or kick him, because she's just like, just like someone who's like the wife of a cop. She knows he's going out there to fight crime, and she doesn't know if he's going to come back, and so, Peter gets a little more punch before he leaves, and then he heads out, and look at this, he's that's a little strange, isn't it? He even said himself, "What'd I do that for?" Feel really silly. So he gets up and gets out in his suit, heads off to swing up, and what I missed? That's impossible. I miss as often as Don Mattingly strikes out. Another cultural reference, folks. Another cultural reference. And then he gets it, and it's like, "Wash out, Hobby. I'm a-coming to get you. Yeehaw!" Uh-oh. I think we all know where this is going, don't we? So we could go back to the Lincoln Tunnel, and there's a Hobgoblin who's, causing havoc. He goes, "Where are you, Spider-Man? I won't stop until you show yourself. I want your head served on a platter." And then he comes, "How's about my feet in your face?" The classic spider wit, folks. You gotta love it. But as the battle goes on, the Hobgoblin notices, "Are you having some difficulties, you wall crawling slime?" "Nah, just toying with you, Hobby." He knows something's wrong, and he goes, "Your speech is slurred. Your movements are spastic. Your reflex is shot." "My dear Spider-Man, are you drunk?" "Nah, it's just your breath, Hobby. Does it to me every time." Just again making the wisecracks, but he knows he's in trouble. He goes, "Surrender, Spider-Man. Accept your defeat with honor. Rather have it on rye." Again, he's just constantly making the jokes. And so, the battle goes on. "Come on, Hobby. I'll show you who's drunk." "Yes, please do." And then bang, he gets nailed, wrapped around, and get caught in his own web. And it's like, had to be the punch. So there it is. We all know what's going on now. He got drunk on the punch. And it's like, Hobby, time out. No, simply time to die. And you gotta love this, how he sets up this, because if we all recall with the Green Goblin, this is how the Green Goblin died. He had his glider. He tried to ram Spider-Man with it, and here's another Goblin doing the same thing. And well, he meets with about just as much success as Norman Osborn did. You gotta love it how goblins never learn from each other. But again, Spider-Man admits it. He goes, luckily my webbing hadn't fully congealed. Got to straighten out. get him away from the people before I really screw up. And then, then the indignant hobgoblin, you will pay for that, Spider-Man. I will feed off the decaying flesh of your corpse, and every bite will be a succulent morsel. Aren't you overdoing it just a bit? No, you prattling piece of meat. Just as if we don't have enough reason to not like the hobgoblin. Just got to keep pouring it on that he's truly irredeemable. But that's when and he says, he tells him you got to suffer. And he goes, well, you still have your looks. So you get just still coming in with the wit, and of course through hitting the electrical discharge from the tower, it screwed up his cybernetic controls for his glider, which you can see what happened, just sends him off. And you gotta love Spidey's thoughts here. Wow, he's gonna run out of gas soon. Maybe even over the Hudson River, or better yet, over New Jersey. You gotta remember, there's always those jokes, the Jersey jokes. As someone who grew up on the East Coast, folks, you always made fun of Jersey in the tri-state area. New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware. You always made fun of New Jersey. But he gets his camera, snaps some pics. Kind of complains about what he does. He goes, Jameson's going to snap up these pics. Spastic Spidey ties up tunnel traffic. Figures the best way to make money is by compromising myself. But he's got to get back to the party. Can't swing home. Don't trust my reflexes. So he has to take a longer way to get home. And he does. A short while later, he shows up, and that ride on the top of the bus really helped sober me up. And I'm twice as angry now too. And he just busts right in. All right, who spiked the punch? And, well, what do you know? It's Mr. Muggins. He's the culprit. And then, you got to run. Wife found him, so she runs into Peter. He tells her, I got the rent. I'll have it tomorrow. And he goes, good riddance to bad rubbish, Parker. You won't be missed. But Mrs. Muggins, I'll definitely miss you. What's everyone staring at? Have some punch. Pour me a Coke. Let's party, right, MJ? You said it, Tiger. And then there it is, just at the happy ending, to this was Peter Parker's bon voyage to some of the people who you saw here is his neighbors in his old Chelsea apartment building, and just I love this because it's just light fun. I mean, even the battle with the Hobgoblin, as dangerous as it is, it's still fun because as you saw, he's constantly making wisecracks, constantly making jokes. How's about my feet in your face? Nash, just your breath hobby does it to me every time. He's just constantly making this. This is the Spider-Man we all know and love. This is what we're not seeing in the modern stuff. You're not seeing a Spider-Man who's weighing down with like, how am I going to pay this rent? How am I going to not anger my wife? How am I going to save not end up dead? All these things. And on top of that, but he's cracking wise and still fighting, even impaired, and he still got more than enough to take on the Hobgoblin. And it's just a really fun, but really to me the real story of this is the party. This is where it's all at, is this whole party scene, because like I said, you really get a good feel for Peter's world, not just for his stuff as Spider-Man going out and fighting the bad guys and going out and trashing villains, but the world he inhabits, his neighbors, his friends, his family, it all plays. And again, the situation is one that could happen to anybody. You're throwing a party, maybe somebody sneaks a little something into your punch when you aren't looking, and before you know it, now you got people getting drunk off the punch. Happens all the time. And again, I love all the little nods to the 80s, the Spuds McKenzie references, the Don Mattingly reference, the stuff that's just like, if you were around in the late 80s, who these people are, what these things are. And I like that, they kind of tie it in. Some people say that kind of dates a story, and I guess maybe in the end it does. But I've always enjoyed the fact that you throw in little cultural references like that. It makes it more fun. It makes it feel more alive, more real than it otherwise might. And again, just these classic moments here with Peter, with all the people that inhabit his world. Just great stuff. And even showing some morality in there. The woman, the MJ's modeling cohort, trying to get a little something going with Peter, and he just ain't got time for that. That's not. I got to get out of here. And seeing how odd her friends are. So he's still a moral guy, even through it all. I mean, just great stuff. great stuff. And the art by Saviuk and Esposito and Williams is perfect. I love like the shadowing here, like right here on this shot of the Hobgoblin's face, just the shadowing they do is so perfect. And yet when we go back and we look at Peter's face, it's very clean. You know, the party stuff is a very clean style. Whereas with the stuff with the Hobgoblin, they gave it a rougher edge. And I like that. That's probably why they had the two different inkers. You know, it's probably Keith Williams who was inking the Hobgoblin scenes as well. You know, and then, you know, it was Esposito inking the Peter Parker scenes. And even the very beginning of the story, you know, right here, I mean, just like look at that shot right here of the Hobgoblin, that close up. I mean, it's just pure menace. You know, just all that they do to make the Hobgoblin seem like a menace, even though we all know he's a joke because he's not the actual Hobgoblin. He's the also ran Jason Masondale, the former Jack-o'-lantern. You know, but I love this. He goes, if you choose to shoot me, do it while my back is turned. It's the only chance you get. But ask yourself, what if I miss? You know, it just he's trying so hard to be so villainous, so hard. You know, it's almost like he's trying too hard to be hard. You know, like the tough guy who has to keep telling you how tough they are. And that's why we all know he's a joke. You know, so much so that even a guy like Tombstone, who at this period, Tombstone had no superpowers. He was just a tough, you know, gangster type of guy. And here he is, he just picks up the Hobgoblin like he's nothing and throws him out a window. You know, this is how much of a joke the Masondale Hobgoblin is, even though they're trying to portray him more as an actual threat. And again, just, you know, just it shows you the wealth of characters that are available. Like, you know, I've often said this is outside of maybe Batman and maybe the Fantastic Four if you count the team. Nobody has the best. The one who has the best rogues gallery of anybody is Spider-Man. You know, it's such a plethora of villains who you know, cut across all the dimensions. You know, you got a character like the second Hobgoblin who's a joke, but yet you got serious threats like Tombstone and the Arranger. You know, and it really again just it adds more credence to the story being told. So that when you get to the personal side, you know, it's almost like it's a refreshing thing, you know, to get away from like the hardness of the evil and the daring do and the danger and dealing with just the trivialities of life. You know, a simple party and it all goes so bad because one guy decides to spike the punch. You know, just great stuff. I really love this issue. It's a lot of fun. If you're a fan of, you know, of Spider-Man, if you're a fan of fun comics, they're not out to preach or, you know, even make you think. Like this isn't like a thinker's book. Like the last one I did, my New Warriors issue, you know, I said how like they made you think, but they didn't tell you what to think, just how to think by giving you information. This one doesn't have any of that. There's no deeper meanings. There's no philosophical stuff involved. There's no political stuff involved. It's just, you know, a guy had a party and got drunk unknowingly and then had to go out and do something else that almost could have got him killed. You know, it's just, you know, but there's no deeper meaning to it than that. It's just, you know, it's just fun. And that's something we don't see so much in the comics anymore. You don't see fun stuff like this or, of course, our happy ending here. You don't see this stuff in the books anymore. And that's a detriment to comic books today is they don't know how to do this stuff. I mean, they don't even know how to do the action anymore either. You know, that again, just a great scene like this, they couldn't do it. They wouldn't know how to do a scene like this. I mean, look at the camera angles that are used. You know, I like the angle on the top two where it's like almost with the glider's perspective, and then they quickly pull back so you can see the effect of what happens to the Hobgoblin when he misses. I mean, this is just great stuff. And again, it's exactly what you want in superhero comics. This is what you read superhero comics for. This right here. You know, not even so much this. I mean, that can be fun. You can have that in to break up the, you know, the action, but this is what you read superhero comics for. And that's what a lot of them seem to have forgotten in modern times. You know, they don't seem to think about this anymore. But again, it's just a lot of fun, a great issue. You know, if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're an 80s comics fan, if you're a fan of just good, fun storytelling, you can't go wrong with Web of Spider-Man number 38. it's definitely a winner, at least in my book. And there you go. That's the pick for this time out. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. Again, like I said, one of the things I love doing about the going doing a bit. I can talk. One of the things and maybe I've been drinking. Somebody spiked my punch. But one of the things I love doing these for is because I get to go back and reread these issues and kind of think on why it is I like them so much, and it just helps me to even get more appreciation for why I love comics and why I've loved them for as long as I have. And so it's a lot of fun for me, a nice nostalgic ride, and to help point out some good stuff to you guys. So I hope you got something out of this. I hope you had some fun with it because I certainly did. I want to thank you for joining me today. And I'll be back soon with some more stuff. As I said, I know I got a couple crowdfunding comics that are still out due and long standing. So hopefully those will be here soon. You never know when I might have another what's in the box. I might purchase something. I have to open that up for you. And then, of course, I got my sequential thinking piece that I'm going to try to do this weekend, guys. Now, don't hold me to it because you never know what can happen in the next, 24 hours or so. Life throws things at you quick sometimes, but I'm going to try to get it out to you this weekend. But if not, I definitely will have it for you next weekend. And as for after that, well, like I said, I got the SummerCon coming up. I'm probably going to try to get some videos, some stuff there for you. So lots of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. I got plenty of content, and who knows what the next wide or great will be? I don't know. I've got to dig through my back issues and see what I can find for you guys to make it more fun and interesting. So again, I hope you enjoyed this one. And again, if you like what you had here, please hit a like on the like button there. Also, if you haven't subscribed, so you don't miss any more stuff that I do here. And if you got any comments on this issue, if you read it and you had thought differently, drop the comment down there. Or if you think I missed something, or if you think I was right on something, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think. And see what your thoughts are, because I always like to know what the audience is thinking when I do these things. So, and if you have any suggestions for one, maybe there's a book you think I should read, and if I have it, I will. So just drop some ideas down there for future issues to review here. So let me know what you think, and until next time, take care.